And tonight on our Great American panel, he was a senior policy advisor, spokesman, and chief speechwriter for former Florida Governor Jeb Bush, attorney, Republican strategist. Justin Sayfie is here. She is a journalist at Manhattan Institute and a Fox News contributor. The one and only Judith Miller is back. And here he is, the former mayor of the great city of Providence. He currently hosts his own radio show, the highly rated Buddy Cianci Show. Is also the author of the bestseller. It's a terrific book. Politics and I really love the book. It's a great book. Vincent Buddy Cianci is with us. All right, so this, I know people are going to say, Hannity, stop. I can't help myself. It drives me insane. We just had Larry Elder interview the unrepentant terrorist. Guy bombs the Pentagon, the Capitol, New York City police headquarters. Barack Obama starts his career in his house. Barack Obama sits on multiple boards with him. Barack Obama gives multiple speeches with the guy. Is asked one time during the campaign, who's this guy Bill Ayers? Because that guy, a right-wing nut job, Hannity's talking about him. Oh, he's just a guy in the neighborhood. And he got away with that pathetic answer.
That's not the only thing he's gotten away with. I mean, you talk about the relationship with Reverend Wright. You talked about Resco, all those things. And it's a matter of what the press really wants to concentrate on. And anybody who says that the press is not biased is just wrong. Yeah. And that they didn't want to concentrate on those issues because they would have been hurtful to Obama. And I think that anybody who saw that interview that Elders did with Ayers could absolutely be shocked.
But this was all out there. He had said all of this. 9/11, 2001, he said he was unrepentant about these bombings. Judith?
Well, that's true. He called himself, he said he had engaged in a little vandalism. Yeah. This is not exactly vandalism. On the other hand, come on. Barack Obama severed his relationship with these people. He left the church.
He is like that. Wait a minute. He left what he had. He is like family to me. He listened to tapes. I am fortified by Reverend Wright. I could no longer disown him than the black community.
And then he did.
For political reasons.
But that tells you something. That tells you something about Barack Obama.
Yeah, that is a real loyal friend.
Well, he won't stand by you. I think that these are people that were instrumental in his life, that he was friends with, and at the end of the day, when they became too much trouble, they became too heavy. He dropped them.
I'm doing an hour special on Bill Ayers. I've had it. I'm not going to let this go. I don't care what the White House wants. All right, let me give you another glimpse into the real Barack Obama. Remember this from the campaign: San Francisco fundraiser, limousine, Learjet liberals, and he didn't think he was being taped. Here's what he said.
It's not surprising then that they get bitter and they cling to guns or religion or antipathy towards people who aren't like them, or anti-immigrant sentiment, or anti-trade sentiment, and a way to explain their frustrations.
Bitter Americans in Pennsylvania clinging to guns and religion. Here's what he was caught off mic again just one day ago.
I mean, on health care, eliminating the health care bill would cost us $1 trillion. It would add $1 trillion to the deficit. So, when Paul Ryan says his priority is to make sure that we're, he's just being America's accountant and, trying to, be responsible. This is the same guy who voted for 2 wars that were unpaid for, voted for the Bush tax cuts that were unpaid for, voted for the prescription drug bill that cost as much as my health care bill but wasn't paid for.
You know what I find about this? What do you think? Forget me.
What do I think? I think that he's better off mic than on mic. At least you get really inside him. You can find out what he's really thinking. They're going to take the teleprompter away, and maybe we'll have someone who really can think, and we can understand what he's really thinking.
I'm one of those bitter people clinging to my Bible and my gun.
Now look, all he did, all that this Democratic president did is tell you, Sean, that now you can take your gun into a national park. I don't think that Barack Obama has been courageous on the issue of gun control. I think comments like that scared him. I like him when he shows some passion, which he almost never does.
And Sean, what I find so revealing about this is a window into his true thought process. He didn't have a teleprompter in front of him that he could read off of. We're getting to hear what he really thinks. And what's really interesting is that Congressman Paul Ryan has rattled the President of the United States. This is the second time this week that Paul Ryan has gotten into Barack Obama's head, President Obama's head, and it really says a lot about what causes that.
The most amazing thing that happened this week, Republicans want old people to die, Republicans don't want to take care of kids with autism. They don't want to take care of kids with Down syndrome. And he got away with this, and the media didn't, again confront him. Here's what bothers me. I contend, Judith, liberal. I mean,
independent, please.
I contend that if anybody knew, I think the real Barack Obama is the friend with right, heirs, doesn't maybe not support the terrorism, but the friend of radicals. And I think if he ever revealed who he really was, America, it would shock the conscience and soul of this country. Am I right or wrong? Exit question.
I just can't disagree with you. I think that he's got a real pass.
Exit
on all those
questions. Yes.
I think he is a politician, and that's what Americans don't like about
afraid
him.
to expose his real self.
Whenever we get him off mic or unscripted, he's criticizing Americans or Republicans, but never people in other countries that are trying to undermine America, like Chavez or Castro or Kim Jong-il.
I think he is far more radical than he would ever let on to the American people, and has contempt, as evidenced by the clinging to guns and religion comment. All right, Greta. What color cards do you have tonight? More with our great American panel.
I heard what you're saying, but wait till you hear this.
And we continue now with our great American panel. All right, so I interviewed Donald Trump. Let's look at the latest poll, public policy polling. Look at this. Trump up 26%. 17 to Huckabee, 15 Romney, 11 Gingrich. I don't know if he's going to get it. It doesn't matter. There's a reason for his popularity, though, and I think there's a lesson here for Republican candidates. Fight, take on controversial issues, don't back down, and battle. Am I wrong?
That's absolutely true. But remember, Trump is a brand, and Trump, the next thing you know, will be selling mattresses out of the White House if he becomes president of the United States. The fact, I like Donald Trump. I think he's fun. I think he needs to grow a little ego, though, because he just doesn't have enough of it. But I think that when you interview him, I say, well, the forms aren't big enough for me to put all my cash.
Well, it's better than the one Resco deal that Obama did.
But look, he's a brand in himself. He's egotistical, which, hey, listen, we all are. But the fact is, he wants to be president, or says he wants to be president, and I'm sure it's something to do with his promotion of his TV show, too.
No, he wants ratings for the TV show. Right. We'll see if he's serious about this, but it says a great deal about the flatness of the Republican earth around him, that he is ahead of everybody else.
I think it should be a wake-up call to all the other candidates. Right. Fire torpedoes a truth, and I think take on Obama will be a good strategy.
But he's also, another thing, he's also an outsider. He's never been in elected office. I think that's appealing. But he is a personal branding machine. He's got buildings named after him in Miami Beach, New York, Las Vegas. He used even a few
Atlantic City. Don't miss a few.
He's a book author. He's a national TV celebrity. He also, even a few years ago, he was even selling Trump steaks. So he's just a personal branding machine. Well, and I think right now it's name identification.
I was doubtful. After spending time with him, I think he's more serious than we think. All right, quickly, we don't have a lot of time. Chevy Chase, here's what he said.
If he's lived up to expectations, if you thought he would do more in terms of combating global climate change.
It's too early to tell. He's young. Maybe he has not anticipated or hadn't yet anticipated with perspective, a way to gauge what's going to be most important to the electorate and to people as he came in, because he's young.
What do you think?
Either he's putting us on to make a comeback, or he's sick, and that's a shame if he is.
I think Donald Trump could teach him a few.
And just because you're famous doesn't mean you have something meaningful to contribute.
All right, guys, good to see you.